The internet used to have its place, whether that was the family computer, a shared iPod Touch, or an iPad or tablet of sorts. Access to the World Wide Web was limited to one device in one home, in one room. The distinction between the online world and the real world was clear. Kids would wake up, go to school, go outside, and then, when completely drained of energy, go online and do all sorts of fun activities. But unfortunately, this isn't the case now. Well, except for the internet not only follows us everywhere, but it's quite literally everywhere with us. And when I say us, I mean everybody, including children. So I was a slightly later 2000s kid, which means my childhood primarily took place during the 2010s era, which also means, yes, I did grow up with unsupervised internet access. And yeah, there are certain things I never want to see on the internet ever again, but the content I was actually watching was so drastically different from the content that kids get nowadays. YouTube had creators that focused on content for younger audiences. Some were weird, and some probably shouldn't have been teaching kids literally anything, but some were absolutely amazing. In different corners of the internet, whether it was fandoms, vlogs, gaming, DIY, unfortunately fanfiction, there was still a present identity revolving around being a kid. It was colorful, it was bright, and everything seemed really cool. Like, I was jamming out to raining tacos. That was my shit back then. We had Nyan Cat, peanut butter jelly time. We had dank memes. But look, the point is everything seemed cool. What I think that separates Gen Z, maybe the later part of Gen Z, from Gen Alpha is having a tween phase. So from ages like 9 to 12, you could say I was tweening the fuck out. There was Musical.ly, Justice, Claire's, Baby Lips, EOS, Pink Donuts, Wishbone, unicorns, colorful sequins, emoji pillows, galaxy leggings, beanie boos, random Starbucks drinks that were poorly photoshopped. It was basically some of 2014 and 2015 kind of repackaged into 2016. It still normalized being a child. It also recognized the awkward transition to childhood to teenagehood. But even being a teenager is too childish for a lot of young girls today. Where is this line between childhood, teenagehood, and adulthood now? Let me spoil it for you. According to the algorithm, there is none. Children now have unlimited access to the internet more than ever. And they're also getting exposed to more short form content more than ever. They're also getting more advertising more than ever.
If you want to be physically attractive but you're not taping your mouth at night, what are you doing?
Don't get this without getting this. This lowers cortisol and supports stress hormones so you're not holding on to that lower pooch.
Let's face it, since the dawn of the influencer, they've been always trying to influence you. Just in case you didn't know. Just in case you weren't aware. As I scroll every day, I get these random ass TikTok shop ads, and honestly, they just kind of pop out of the wild sometimes, and sometimes they've been like advertising the same thing to me for like months. But we all know the basic formula for advertisements. They usually give you a problem that's not actually a problem, and they sell you the solution. But the ads aren't the only problem. It's the aesthetics. It's the deliberate selling of lifestyles that are completely unrealistic. I think many of us have seen this manifested through young girls, whether it's through expensive beauty products, skincare, extensive beauty regimens, which are really supposed to be marketed towards women or older women, but honestly, companies stopped caring. The whole Sephora girls phenomenon, which is basically these young girls who go into Sephora and buy really expensive makeup and skincare products. And often, the skincare products they are buying are meant for older women. They contain things like retinol, which are really just not useful or needed for really young skin. And if you ask me what I think, I don't think anybody should be ever worried about wrinkles. Ladies, show your wrinkles. But if anybody shouldn't be worried about wrinkles, which anybody shouldn't, it shouldn't be 11, 10-year-old, 12-year-old girls. So yes, this falls on the responsibility of a lot of these parents who are completely irrational when it comes to letting their kids spend that much money on expensive products.
They literally left the testers like out everywhere. Excuse me.
But it also falls on the massive consumerism these kids have been brought up in. It's constantly shoved in their faces no matter what crook of the internet they happen to fall into. There's things like skinny talk and creators that honestly shouldn't exist at all for any age group ever, but they are being targeted towards this younger audience. This younger audience who really shouldn't be having TikTok. Then there's stupid buzzwords like frog pretty or deer pretty or fish pretty. I don't know. So would you say you're like horse pretty or deer pretty? What, like horse pretty? More like velociraptor pretty. But I digress. These young girls just become bundles of insecurity and stress which make them easy to capitalize on. To me, it feels like these young girls aren't actively searching for this stuff, but it's more like brands are targeting them with it. As for the young boys, being billionaires by 14, buying expensive cars, dunking their head into ice bowls of water, defying time and the laws of physics. I'm just kidding. They are watching it though. I mean, talk about a lifestyle. This guy got a whole camera crew to film his not even 10-minute run. He really had to capture his 7 minutes of glory, if not even. I could make an hour-and-a-half long documentary detailing the absolute horrors of red-pilled content being shoved into little boys' For You pages. And I would barely scratch the surface for the amount of problems with it. Similar to the content marketed towards these young girls, it's targeting these young boys' insecurities, and it's a lot more direct than you think. Some memorable experiences from my childhood happened to take place online. That's because they were actual experiences. Whether it was logging onto Roblox and Minecraft alone or with my friends, or watching YouTube creators, the content itself had an audience, and it resonated with me. And not all technology is bad for kids. There was a distinct difference when I was given an iPad and I created stop motion films with my Legos or dolls, or I was getting into fights with other kids on Roblox. Maybe not that part, but there was endless content dedicated to kids. There were kid-friendly Vine compilations, DIY channels that weren't just weird and fetish content. Overall, there was a plethora of content that inspired kids to do something and create. And the solution to the problem isn't very clear. No, people shouldn't always have to cater content to kids. I mean, I'm not catering content to kids at this moment. And yes, parents should be actively engaging with their kids and their lives and not letting an iPad do the parenting for them. Because we are truly seeing the consequences of what happens when you raise children with an iPad. And honestly, right now, we are in an intellectual and creative dark age. People don't even bother to do their research anymore. Often they just listen to what videos on the internet tell them, which you literally could be doing with me right now. And I never imagined a future where kids only knew how to type in prompts to ChatGPT, but it's becoming a reality and it's pretty scary. The words I am saying to you aren't original. You've probably heard them from every other YouTuber, every other content creator, every other video essayist. But if I can leave you with any message or say anything that resonates with you in any sort of way, go outside, go build community, go make friends, and go make memories. Pick up a book. Pick up a new hobby. The whole reason people flock to the internet is for that sense of community they've often been lacking in real life. It's very difficult lately to provide people, especially children, with a third place to really explore who they are. So be the change. Talk to your family members, talk to your friends, talk to your community, and remind kids that It's okay to be a kid. We're not in any rush to get anywhere. Thank you so much for watching.